Hi, this is Michael Adams for CEOroaster.com and Stock-Telegraph.com. And yeah, today I have the pleasure to talk to Luis Azevedo, right? Azevedo?
Yes.
Okay, he's the CEO and director of 5-Star Diamonds Ltd, trading on the TSX Venture with a great symbol, and the symbol is Star, STAR, so something you can't miss. And I guess the intention of this presentation is to figure out if the company is really a star for the investors. So first of all, Luis, thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to me and introduce me to the company. But to start off, give us a little bit of background about yourself, please.
Well, thank you very much, Michael. I hope you find, and the investors also find, that the star choose the right symbol, because we do believe we have a very interesting story here, but more than that, a very attractive, what diamonds in the end it is. Well, about myself, I'm a geologist, graduated in Brazil. I'm also a lawyer. I have worked with over a few companies on my career, basically major companies before I got to this passion of the junior world. I worked initially for Western Mining, then I went to work for Barrick Gold, and then I put to myself the challenge of trying to do things by my own. I realized that you're never alone. You need partners and you need people, and that's all about 5-Star, the people and the cooperation between people besides the projects.
Okay, yeah, and I saw when I scanned your presentation that you have a number of projects, but your focus is definitely in South America, in Brazil, right? And we're talking about diamonds, as the name is indicating.
Yes, our focus is to be the Brazilian diamond company over the next few years. We do believe we have a very large number of projects, and we do believe there is more coming to us in the near future as well. We believe we can be the leaders on this market in regard to Brazil, which was in the past one of the leader countries in the world, as we're going to see.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't really aware because diamonds is kind of a niche, yeah, at least for the German resource investor. Yeah, they are more into gold and silver and copper, and so diamonds always is tough for the investors to understand. And when I was talking to some diamond companies, most of them had projects in Canada. So, but Brazil is a pretty good place, as I understand you, to also look for diamonds.
Yes, yes. Brazil is a very interesting place. In fact, we do have the right environment, and we do have a number of kimberlites, which are the host rock for diamonds, in a similar number of Canada. But as we know, Brazil has not been explored enough for a lot of commodities, especially to diamonds. That's why we believe new discoveries are going to come in the near future.
Okay, great. Yeah, so let's move ahead in the presentation and yeah, bring us some of the highlights of 5-Star.
Okay, as we mentioned, our vision is to be the Brazilian diamond company. Why? Because we believe Brazil had produced so many diamonds in the past, and most of them have came during the 1800 centuries from alluvials or alluvials, and no kimberlites were found during this phase. And in the beginning of 1900, the focus of diamonds with the Africa discoveries were Africa, and Brazil was a kind of relation which passed away. And we do believe that we didn't have dedication enough in the past years to found those discoveries, and we do believe that Brazil has the same environment as Africa to host very significant mines. And the one thing that encourages us is, if you look the price of the diamonds found in Brazil, they are one of the most excited in terms of price and quality. And I do believe that when we find those deposits, amazing stones are going to come out, and a large number of stones are going to come out as well.
Let me ask you a question, Louis. Is it true that, like in the old days, the continent of Africa and the continent of South America have been connected? And is this probably a reason why you are finding the same diamonds?
Yes, you are correct. It's what we call the Gondwana Continental, which was part of a large continental, and some millions years ago they separate. And if you look at the diamond projects in South of Africa, especially Botswana, South Africa, you can see a good correlation to the diamond projects that we have in the Minas Gerais and the especially Goiás state, and also in the north. They were part of the same environmental.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah, let's move to the next slide.
Yes, like I said, 5-Star has about 23 projects, and we have about 67 licenses, and this covers 165,000 hectares. It's a lot of land for sure, and we basically work just over a few of them with a very good outcome so far. As you know, our most advanced project is called Catalão, is where you can see those stones in that slide came from, and also where we put a small pilot plant back a year ago, and we produce over 3,000 tons of material. We processed 3,000 tons of materials, and we got a quite good number of very nice stones.
Okay.
One of the things that I believe makes 5-Star special is the experience of the group involved, especially Matthew Wood, which has a very good international experience, and he is a very experienced person in the stock exchange. So he knows how it operates, and he has a very good successful deals done in the past. And some of them I was part involved, which is Avanco Resources, which today is operating in Brazil. I'm a director of that company, and I help Matt and Tony to form that company. And we are one of, I would say, most excited companies in Brazil. Matt also is a founder of Hunuco, which was in Mongolia, and it was sold for $500 million in the past. We work very well for about 10 years together. And one day, Matt came to Brazil, and we always had this idea that if Brazil has produced so much diamonds in the past, why we don't have diamond mines? And we went to a conference, me and Matt, and we saw one of the reasons that Brazil had no mines is because at this conference of diamonds, which were happening about 5 years ago, there was no mining companies involved. It was basically people, locals that had been producing diamonds, and none of them have done any exploration. So the whole exploration done in Brazil remains from basically Rio Tinto and De Beers, which had explored over many years Brazil, and they found very nice kimberlites, but they also never put together a plant to test those kimberlites. So what we found is that there was a gap of, I would say, Australian flavor on this, which I can summarize. Australians, they do the exploration, they do quite well explorations, but their drive is to put production in place to see the results of that exploration. and even in the small operations, which can give you an idea of the economicity of those mines. And that's what we are trying to do with 5-star. One thing very important is that 5-star own 100% of all their pipes. We don't have any joint ventures as so far. Not that I don't want to do a joint venture, but it's important that shareholders understand that whatever comes from those mines would be 100% in their benefit.
Okay.
Well, I spoke already a little bit about the directors and the management, and we brought Joe Burke. He is very experienced. He's in Asia at the moment, and he's our marketing person. He's going to be the person involved basically in the sales of those bonds. And as well, he's very well connected in this market. About our capital structure. Basically, we have a capital structure very well distributed. The management had a large part of that capital because we basically, for the initial years, we invest our only money to put this company together. After that, we got the support of R&R, which are basically investors come from New York, very experienced people, especially in the financial market, and they've been supported us from almost day one, and they are very supportive to us. And we have the traditional investors, which are basically Canadians, Europeans, and some Australia as well, with a proportion of 50% of our company.
Okay, let's talk a little bit. Sorry, can we just go back one slide to the?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, let's talk. We need to talk a little bit more about the big investor R&R. So, what are they looking for? Are they looking for you to go into production? Because with like 26%, yeah, they can be a big supporter, but on the other hand, they can also kind of, if you want to go into a different route with more than 25%, they can say no sometimes, right? So are your interests from the company aligned, like from the management aligned with R&R, and are both of you groups aligned with the external shareholders? So give us some more details about R&R. What's their philosophy? What are they looking for? I trust you're like in a constant discussion with them. So give us some more.
Yes. We are quite close to them. They have appointed someone in our board, as you know, and but not over this director, but with them. We have a very quite close relationship, and they are very supportive of us build the mines and build not just one, but to build several mines. They like Brazil. They do believe Brazil is the future of their diamonds. And they like the way that Brazil put themselves. We have industrial here, so most of the equipment can be manufactured over here. They do believe that the Brazilians are hard workers, and they proved themselves with very successful companies. And basically, they want to follow up their investments in whatever we do in terms of capitalizations. They do prefer not to be, we already can see, they do prefer not to be diluted. They want to keep their participation, and they want to fund whatever we want to achieve in terms of grow that company.
Okay, and I trust that you have these two kind of celebrities. You have Ronald Lauder and Richard Parsons. Yeah, they are very well known. So does that help you? Do they help you opening doors or make introductions or on a daily basis?
They're gonna. Of course, their credentials are fantastic. When we speak to people in Brazil, authorities or banks, they are very interesting to see those kind of investors in our company. That helps a lot, no doubt. But I do believe their biggest value going to come in the future when this company is going to build their large mines. And for sure, we're going to be looking for debit. That's where I think their ability and their participation will be more important, even more important, because they will going to give to the banks the security about what we are looking to do here.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Well, let's talk about our portfolio. Our portfolio is formally based. We start in Catalan, and we've done a lot of drilling. We've done a lot of bulk sampling in Catalan, and basically we have a resource in Catalan close to 9 million tons. And one thing very important, that the property of Catalan has close to 2,000 hectares. And everything we are talking about Catalan, the 8 million tons, is just 3 pipes. And we have at least 15 more pipes around that pipes in the region, which needs to be tested, and we need to be mined in terms of bulk sampling to show what is their capacity to extend that resource. And as we can see by the quality, we believe that region is one of the regions that we're going to be the focus of our company for a long-term period. Of course, another project that we have looked at and we're very excited as well is Jaibaras, because of the size of the pipes. Jaibaras, it's a large area as well. We have closed in that area about 50,000 hectares in terms of total area. And we have about 8 pipes identified there. We have drilled of those pipes. We're looking to receive their results. And we do believe this is another very important area for our company. And we do believe the next phase would be put a bulk sample there to see the quality of those stones.
Okay, Luis, can you say something about the infrastructure situation for both projects?
Yes. In terms of infrastructure, and that's very important you say that, Catalan is no doubt, but I would say one of the best areas to mine in Brazil. The first thing is that the state is very incentive of mining, and the region has about 2 large mines, Catalan Phosphate and Niobium, which were owned by Vale in that past, and today is owned by Chinese group. And the Vale has another project in the area as well. And the state of Goiás is, as I said, very incentive. They have one of the most advanced legislation in terms of environmental, and the mines department there is very incentive as well. So this was another point that make us to decide by the Catalan itself, because we know that Brazil is not an easy place to operate. It's a little bit bureaucratic. It's very large, and have those kind of supports from government. It's always very helpful, and that's one of the reasons. For the Catalan projects, power is very close, about 20 kilometers far away. We have no problems with the water, and we have no problems with the manpower. So we do believe mining costs are going to be very low in this area. And since we're talking about diamonds, security is another thing very important to us. This is another point that we elect Catalan and Goiás to start, because it's one of the most secured states and regions of Brazil.
Okay.
About Jaibaras, I must say it's a large project. It's a very interesting. Pará is a very large state, but infrastructure is a little bit poor in the region. I do believe we would have, for sure, a lot of support. I have a lot of experience in Pará. I operate projects there before, but I have to say the costs won't be the same cost of Catalão, and that's one of the reasons that we'll focus initially going to be Catalão.
Okay, and one follow-up questions. You're aware of the situation with the First Nations in Canada. So is there similar situations with First Nations, yeah, for lack of a better term, in Brazil around your projects?
Unfortunately not. I would say unfortunately, okay. Of course, because we would like to be able to tell you that those natives are being still exist in Brazil. They do exist in Brazil. They have about 200,000 of natives in Brazil, but they are very far away. And compared to our country, I'm not sure about the numbers in Canada, but they are a very small part of our population. As you know, Brazil has over 200 million, and we have only 200,000 natives.
Okay, thanks.
Well, talking about the project as well, the other projects very interesting. One project very interesting is Riachão. Riachão was one pipe found by us. We have a very interesting and very capable group of explorers in our company. Paulo, our VP Exploration, and his team are very experienced, and they found this pipe called Riachão. It's a large pipe. It's 25 hectares, and we have done two very successful bulk samples, and where we found very nice stones, most of them with good quality. And we are conducting now a large bulk sampling, few tons, which we're going to send to South Africa to be analyzed. And we are very excited about this pipe, especially because the pipe has shown a majority of diamonds of very, very good quality.
Okay.
Another project very interesting, also in Goiás, are the Caiapó diamonds, which we have done geophysics over there. We have done some exploration, and Verissimo, which we have done some drilling over there, and it's very close to Catalão. We believe this is going to be one of the next focus of our company. When we have the plant of Catalão up running, that's going to be very easy to evaluate those projects in Goiás. Well, we already talked a little bit of Jaibaras, and I prefer not to go through the details since we have a lot of slides and I don't want to take your time. But it's very important that I must say to you that we have in Brazil so far 3 plants. We have a DMS that we're going to be installed in Catalão. We have a jig plant with a rotary that was used in Catalão. And we have this little portable plant, which is a jig plant that we have put in into Jaibaras. And that will be probably moved to another exploration early stage project that we have, possible to Riachão. We are still decided, but the idea is probably done what we did plant, possibly to Jaibaras or to Riachão, depending on the results. We're going to make that decision probably early 2018. Okay. So this is very important because the ability to have basically 2 plants semi-portable give us the possibility to go to the projects and not just go with the exploration, which tells us a lot about the size of the pipe and the possibility of micro diamonds, but also give us the ability to know the potential in terms of macro diamond and the quality of those diamonds. And that was never done before in Brazil. Well,
Okay.
Jaibaras, we have already spoken about the number of pipes, and you can see in that slide, they are quite large pipes, and they have a very excited chemistry and mineralogy, and they proved already to be diamond portable. These are the diamonds that we found in Jaibaras.
Looks nice.
Yeah, they look nice, for sure. The Catalan. This is a picture of our what we call the concentration facility that we have there. I do believe you are aware Brazil has a little bit little problems with the security. One of the reasons that we done our selection room in the town was the ability to have this more protected when we have a large scale production. This facility is on the city of Catalan, which is a large city with a lot of security. And basically our idea, we're going to be produce the concentrate in Ouvidor, which is the town site where we have the mine, and drive every day with the concentration to be cleaned and have the diamond separation in this facility. And this facility, it's very close to the polices of town, which gives us a free security protection.
Right.
The Catalan, this is the plant that these two pictures you can see. This is the plant that we bought in Brazil, is the DMS plant, which has the capacity of 100 tons of rum. And the idea would be install that plant. It's already in the area. We are bringing now power. We believe we're going to start the installation early next year. And that picture below is the area that we're going to have the plant installed in the mine. Basically, in the past, we have installed our rotary plant between the three pipes. This is Kate C, B, Kate C is over here, and Kate A is over here as well.
Okay.
So these are the diamonds that we took from Catalan. As you can see, the quality is very important. It's 99% fluorescent absent. It's almost 85% of gem quality. When I took, Brazil is a little bureaucratic in the lack of have mines in Brazil, to export those small quantity of diamonds were a little bit challenge for us here, because the authorities didn't know how to deal with that, because the only company that produce diamonds in Brazil do that in country. So we asked for export those diamonds to be cleaned and be evaluated, and I done that personally myself. And it was very interesting, because when I showed this to people in Antwerp, they were very excited to see diamonds from Brazil coming from kimberlite, and they also was very enthusiastic with the quality of the diamonds.
Okay.
The Riachão projects, as I mentioned to you, Riachão is a very large pipe in the state of Piauí. It's a very poor state, I would say one of the poorest 5 states in Brazil. I think I already spoke with the people in the government locally, and they're very incentive to us. Piauí basically don't have any significant mine in that state, and the 5-star would be the opportunity to then be well known in the mining space. They are very excited about this. And as you can see, not because the micro diamond study that we have already done, but the chemistry of that kimberlite is very excited. We have a lot of garnets, which is a very good satellite for diamonds.
Okay.
Well, we already spoke about Kayapó and Verissimo. They probably gonna be developed in parallel with Catalan in a later stage. I would say they are close to Catalan pipe, and especially Verissimo is where the third largest stone of Brazil were founded, and we do have the pipe that this diamond was generated, and this is about 60 kilometers only from Catalan.
Okay.
We also have few projects as Maravilha, which we're gonna do some work in January this year. We're probably gonna do some small bulk sample, manual bulk samples. We have the Romaria project in Minas Gerais. It's a very interesting area where a lot of large diamonds and very good quality had already been produced. We have the Ouvidor, which is the project also in Goiás that is surrounded Catalan as well. And we have the mega projects, which are 16 exploration licenses that we basically didn't have time already to start, but we're going to be the focus of the company in the next 2 years. We also have those other pipes which are well known in the regions, and it had produced some diamonds: Moana, Angico, Conquista, and Coromandel. Especially Coromandel had produced a lot of very nice diamonds in the past, but mostly alluvial diamonds.
Okay.
And we have projects in Rio Grande do Sul, which is far away on the south, basically in the border of Argentina, projects in Maranhão, Bahia, and Minas Gerais. So as you can see, we have a large potential number of pipes, and we do believe with the right resource and with the cash that we're going to be generated after next year with Catalan, I'm sure the company will going to be starting to put together a larger number of explorers, and we're going to have very good results coming from those projects in the near future. And basically, one thing very interesting, I don't want to be too aggressive saying that, but if there is a filter in the diamond, and we believe there is a filter in the diamond, we basically control most of the properties. We've been doing that for the last few years, very successful. So I believe the future of the diamond exploration in Brazil is very excited, and we're going to be linked by 5-star. One thing very important that investors may heard, Brazil was considering to change their mining legislation. Basically today, 27, there is a possibility of new mining code be voted. We do believe that will not happen because there was no consensus in Congress. But we basically last week approved in Congress 2 very important laws. A law over royalty, which diamond were considered very important of our future in terms of mining, and they're going to be paying 2% royalty, which compared to the other parts of the world is very low. And also, Brazil had decided that the mine business is going to be regulated by an agency, which is a much more advanced type of organization for Brazil. And today, the oil sector, which is very successful, the energy sector, are run by agents, and that was a demand for the mining companies, and that was approved as well. So we believe that the get properties in Brazil and the approved mining properties are going to be much easier than was in the past. And I believe the royalty is still putting Brazil in the right spot, making companies able to be profitable in Brazil very well. Brazil is a place where the mining costs are not very expensive compared to other parts of the world. So we believe that we are in the right spot, and we have the right commodity. I'm not sure if I missed anything.
No, but I have a couple of questions. So first of all, thank you very much. I think that was very interesting, and especially your portfolio of projects is very encouraging. Yeah, and it's just a large number. Let me ask you a couple of questions. So how much money did you spend to acquire all these projects? Because I understand you really own them. It's not that you have an option to acquire them. So you really own all the projects within 5-star. And so did you pay in cash, or is there some kind of equity component involved? Or how did you collect all these projects?
It's a very interesting question. And basically, we own 100%. And we just bought one of the projects, was the Catalan. We bought that project, giving initially to the shareholders a piece of our company, and today this represents less than 8% of our company. And all the other properties were picked by us or by third parties, which we were going to pay just royalty in the amount of 1 or 2% maximum. So basically, because there was no competition and we were very low profile, and that was one of my abilities in Brazil. I'm very well connected in the mining industry, and I was able to negotiate that in a very successful basis individually for 5-star. So basically, as I mentioned to you, we spent absolutely almost nothing in terms of our cash. Most of our cash was really spent in exploration and in the book sampling, advancing the information about those projects.
Okay, wow, that's really great. And on some of the pictures, yeah, as you told me, you already have some plans and some facilities which are on the projects, and I understand you didn't pay for them. So what would be kind of the replacement costs? So what is all these facilities and plans that are in place? What is kind of the worth right now?
Let me explain you. Worth, how much they're worth? I think it's subjected to the value of those properties, because like a plant that has no project has for me no value, but a plant over a good project has a lot of value. But let me explain you how we did that. Initially, me and Matt, we have invested a few $100,000, and we built this rotary plant locally. We basically pay for this rotary plant, which ended up showing us the capacity and the potential of the Catalan, less than $300,000, because that was manufactured inside the country close to the project. Then we found this DNS, which would cost us to buy about $10 million. And we basically bought that secondhand, but only operates 6 months for about $800,000. And this was 2 years, almost 2 years of negotiation.
Wow, okay.
So one thing that I'm very proud is that I'm very short and very conservative to spend my money and the money of my companies. Okay. Like I said, it's not just the value that we add. If you decide to build one plant like this, it will take 1 year in South Africa to be manufactured. And then to bring over here, it's about 6 months and a lot of tax. So if I buy this plant in South Africa, it would cost me 10 million. To bring here additional 5 million and a minimum of 1.5 years in terms of timing. So I got this. When I start the company, I start to negotiate with this group, and basically I done the acquisition almost at the similar time that I had proved that Catalan had a reserve, and it was economically interesting for us to buy that plant and that plant to buy the oxide material of that deposit. But we want to increase for sure.
No, but this sounds really like you have been able to cut a really good deal for the company. So great. You have all these projects, and I understand that, for example, in Canada and other jurisdictions, you have something like a yearly spending commitment, right? To keep a project in good standing. Is there something similar in Brazil? And if so, what is the costs per year on all the projects combined?
No, this was something that we were discussing in this mining law, that the companies had not agreed. I understand the reason why Canadians had that kind of regulation. You have a large number of companies and you have a limited time to explore those over the years and a limited amount of land of potential. But Brazil is the opposite. Brazil has less than 100 companies doing exploration at the moment by various reasons, because it's complicated, it's far away, and we have one problem. Brazilians do not invest in mining because if you put money into the bank, they gives you 15% over a year. So why are you going to go to the stock exchange? So that put a lot of investors of our Brazilian local money out of the mining spot. And then we convinced the Congress and the government that the maximum that they could do is to charge an annual fee to people not be sitting on those properties. And then the price for this is about 7 cents per hectare. So that means to 5-Star keep their portfolio, it's about $130,000.
Okay.
Which is not significant for Brazil. But I think in the future, when Brazil starts, and it's already starting, have to bring a lot of attention, and much more companies are coming, this will not be that way. We're probably going to go for some kind of regulation which will make mandatory minimum investment. But so far, there is no such requirement in our law.
Okay, great. So to sum up, let's imagine that we are meeting again in end of November, early December 2018. So that's exactly 12 months from now. What are you going to tell me about the achievements in 2018? So in other words, what are the milestones that you would like to hit in 2018?
I would like to see good stones coming out of Catalan for sure. And we would like at least 1 or 2 projects advance in terms of reserves and resources. And I'm not sure which one we're going to be, but I would say between Riachão, Jaibaras, and Verissimo. This one will be the next one that the company is going to show resources, and they're going to show probably some results in terms of bulk sampling. And for sure, Catalan we're going to be built in 2018.
Okay. I think that was the famous last words. Thank you very much, Luis. That was very, very interesting. And for everyone who wants to dig more into the company, on this slide, you can see the email addresses of the management team. So feel free to email them with your questions. Also, please take a look at the website. That's 5stardiamonds.net. And there's some pretty good information there. You can download this information. It's all on the website. And yeah, so final words are yours.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, Michael. It was very interesting. And I'm sure in the near future, we're going to see very nice diamonds coming out from Brazil. I do believe. and if Brazil gonna be back for the mining space of diamonds in terms of the world. That's what we want to achieve. The number of stones that we've been produced are not representative of our size, of our potential. And I believe 5-Star are gonna have a drive on this.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Luis. Bye-bye.